Right, so we're here in Birmingham with famous, or some say infamous, David Icke.
Infamous, I hope.
Okay, so why are you here in Birmingham today?
Well, I've been, I'm just going into my 36th year of researching a simple question: who runs the world and why and to what end? And it's taken me into a vast network of multiple level manipulation of humanity. But it's all been based on the same thing, which is control of human perception. So censorship is part of the control of human perception, because we get our perceptions from information we receive, and if through censorship you can stop people hearing things that would get them to see situations in a certain light, then they'll see overwhelmingly they'll see those situations in the way you want them to see it, because your information is basically telling them that. And so I've watched it expand and expand and expand, but now we've reached a real Rubicon where we're moving into two things, and when I say that, I don't mean sometime over the rainbow. I mean in the next few years and into the next decade, where we have Keir Starmer, who has said that they want to introduce digital ID, which will mean that everyone is tracked and people will be under the control of that digital system. What they want to bring in also is a digital currency. It's happening around the world, just like digital ID is. And the digital currency is programmable. They will be able to program it to buy what they would like you to buy and not buy what they don't want you to buy. Like any information, for instance, that would give you a bigger view of events. And so we are in the process now of crossing this line into a digital control system and into even more fundamental, the fusion of artificial intelligence and the human brain and the human body. The AI billionaire oligarchs, not least around Trump, are now openly talking about it, and have been for some years, the fusion of artificial intelligence to the human brain. What will that mean? Well, they're telling us. There's a guy called Ray Kurzweil, who's a Google executive and so-called futurist, who is saying, he said some years ago, that by 2030, artificial intelligence will be connected to the human brain, and from that point, artificial intelligence will do more and more of human thinking until human thinking is negligible. So we're in the process, before our eyes, moving from the manipulation of information and censorship to dictate our perception, to us getting our perceptions and emotional responses direct from artificial intelligence. And anyone think that artificial intelligence controlled by this, what I call global cult, will be asking questions like, who's running the world, to what end, and we must stand up to this tyranny. Those questions will not be delivered by artificial intelligence, will become, in effect, a computer on someone else's internet. And so people instinctively have turned against this digital ID proposal in England, but it's happening around the world because it's a global agenda. And there was this millions and millions of people signed a petition which went to Parliament, and there was some pathetic bloody discussion in Parliament about it. But I don't think the vast majority still grasp the scale that we're looking at of human control, where not even our thoughts will be our own anymore. And that's why I'm in Birmingham. I'm in Birmingham because I was asked to come and speak here and make that point. And, you know, I don't care if people are Christian or Muslim or Hindu or any religion. I don't care if they're left or right. This system of digital AI control is designed to control all of us, and we need to put down the fault lines of division and focus upon that which seeks to enslave us all. If we do that, we can bring it down. If we don't, it will prevail.
I mean, the majority of the British public, I would say, are against all the, like you said, the petitions are against digital ID. Partly because of the cost, because it costs a lot of money and it could have been better invested in, say, the NHS. But what would you say to somebody who would say, well, in many ways, we're all already living in that world. People, like, say, for example, you've got biometric passports, digital driving licenses. People actually voluntarily put their own information out there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So in a sense, we're already living in that world now.
Yeah, we are. But the digital ID and the AI human fusion is another whole different level of this. But you're absolutely right. I coined a phrase in the 1990s in my books of the totalitarian tiptoe. And what you do is you start at A and you know you're going to Z. But you know if you go in too bigger leaps towards Z, people will say, what's happening? Because the change is so obvious. So what you do is you do it step by step by step by step. And then when you stop and look back, you realize just how much freedom has already been deleted and how much the digital system is taking over. But it's been done in little steps, and each step is so often given a different excuse, like, oh, we're doing it because of this, or we're doing that because of that, when actually it's the same reason. It's total human control. And you know, people find it very difficult. I do understand the level of psychopath that we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about a level of psychopathy that, you know, that makes your run-of-the-mill psychopath look like Mary Poppins. And one of the hardest things to get across over the years has been the level and scale of evil that we're dealing with. This is a level of evil that has no empathy, can't put itself in the feelings of others it affects, and has no compassion. It's completely deleted. Now, empathy is the fail-safe mechanism of human behavior. If you have empathy of how someone's feeling by what you're doing to them, it will affect what you'll do to them. But imagine if you have no empathy. It's very difficult for people in general to imagine, but imagine you have no empathy. You have no emotional consequence no matter what you do. And as a result of that, people need to realize that when they say, oh, they'd never do that, what they're actually saying is, no, you'd never do that. They'd love it. And therefore, there are no limits to the level of control that is unfolding, because these people are psychopaths. They're super psychopaths. And it's grasping the level of evil we're dealing with that allows you to see that actually they would do it, and they are doing it. And we're talking the next few years that this is designed to come into being. And the fact that Keir Starmer, who never mentioned this in his election campaigns, who has a massive majority on a third of the vote, is seeking to push this through now, the timing is perfect for the unfolding control system I've been exposing now for decades.
So that's you're giving us the message, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. What are you saying to the people of Birmingham, the UK, the world? What do we have to do about this?
Well, we have to remove the cause of the problem. The cause of the problem, and which allows the few to control the many, is that we allow ourselves to be manipulated into rigid, unquestioning belief systems, be they religious, be they political, whatever, cultural. And once we have a belief system that is immovable, you basically built a prison wall around your mind. you won't go beyond the prison wall into other possibilities and other things that might be happening, other insights, other awareness, because if you cross that boundary of the wall of your belief system, you're no longer whatever you call yourself. And I've never had this, but so many people, they want to be part of a group, and they'd rather stay part of the group and not explore beyond it than be eliminated from the group by opening their mind to other possibilities. And once you have these rigid belief systems, religious, cultural, political, then you're in the perfect position to play them off against each other in war, in conflict, in tussling for power and dominance, and we're therefore fighting each other while the few that are manipulating all these different sides go on unfolding their dystopia, not least now technological and digital, while we're focusing on each other and fighting each other. So if we want to remove the cause of the problem, we bloody well stop doing that. Because if we don't stop doing it, ladies and gentlemen, then your children and grandchildren, and you, because this is now unfolding, it's not over the rainbow, are going to live in a level of human control, fine detail of human control, the like of which we've never seen before in human history.
So you're saying we're fighting each other. Who's fighting who?
Well, just look at what's happening in this country. You've got the division between people that follow Christianity and the people that follow Islam. In America, where you've got the division between the left and the right. It's everywhere.
So you're saying that we should all kind of get together, Christians, Muslims?
Of course. And you see, we don't have to agree on everything, but we put down the things that are allowing us to be divided so the few can rule, and we just focus on what impacts all of us, because this is not a plan to control Muslims or Christians or Hindus or any of them, or right or left. It's controlling all of us. So put the bloody fault lines down and let's just focus together on what's impacting on us all, because if we don't, then they'll get what they want, and not in the distant future either.
Okay, so my last question, what message would you give to Starmer and, say, the local politicians of Birmingham?
Well, get informed for a start in terms of the local politicians in Birmingham. Start realising that you're just pawns in a game you don't understand. In terms of Starmer, he will be a pawn in a game he does understand to an extent, because this global cult, this network of secret societies globally that I talk about and expose, they control, they've got sub-networks in each country which manipulate their chosen people into power, and so Starmer will not be making his own decisions, especially on major cult agendas like digital ID. He'll be doing what he's told to do. If you look at the immediate hierarchy around him, standing in the background, his handler basically is Tony Blair, and Tony Blair's handler is a guy called Larry Ellison, the so-called second richest man in the world, who funds him massively, and Larry Ellison will be controlled by someone else, and this is how the hierarchy works. So looking to Starmer as someone who's actually making these decisions, he's being told what decisions to make, and you've only got to look at Starmer's eyes to see he's freaking terrified. He's always terrified because in my view, just my opinion, they have something massive on him that he dare not do what he's told, or it will be revealed.
Okay, well, thanks very much for